So welcome everyone. It is February the 16th, 2026. And we're going to jump right into the slideshow. Just have to press one more button here. There we go. Okay, so this is our book club for the Divine Mother's Guidebook, Home to the Heart. And we're in the pubic chakra. This is the second chakra in the 13 system that is with the Council of Love information. And we're on pages 108 to 112 today. So, and we're going to be working mostly with Lao Tzu. Yeah, Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu.
Yes, he was a master around 400 BC in the area of China. Yeah. So this, if ever you want to listen to the audios, and I might even start sending the audios out, the link to them when I send the email, afterwards with the YouTube. So if anyone wants to listen, it's easy access. So yeah, and then the YouTube channel is right there on the homepage. So it's voiceoffreedom.ca. All the information's available on that homepage. And there's something new. If anyone wants to do a review, I just heard about this one. It's called goodreads.com. And somehow it's connected in behind the scenes to Amazon. So it really helps with everything. So if anyone feels like they want to do a review on Goodreads, you just in the search, just type in Home to the Heart. That would be wonderful. We're trying to promote peace, love, and joy around the world. So thank you. Okay, and let's welcome everyone. We're surrounded with beings that like to listen into this from the other side. And so that's our galactic friends. And then there's all sorts of galactic beings in human form on planet. And we'll always say thank you to the Mother and the mighty archangels, Sanat Kumara, who is the keeper of universal law, the ascended masters, enlightened beings, beloved saints, our guides and guardians. Always so much gratitude to them, their service, their daily 24/7 service, and to Gaia and her service for holding us. So let's surround ourselves with the Mother's blue velvet cloak, if you feel like it. It's the cloak of freedom and truth and power, and it's super comforting. It just helps us remember that the Mother is always with us. So, and however you imagine this cloak with a hood and, a really dark blue, deep, deep blue. It's like the midnight blue of a twilight sky. And then Archangel Michael always goes along the door wall to your space, whether it's your house, your room, your bed. Also, if you're doing your bed at night, you put Michael and Gabrielle at the foot, and then you go around. So for a room, it's Michael, and he walks with his blue flame, and he stands at the corner. And this is what the blue flame looks like. But in your imagination, just see him holding this. This is the blue flame of truth. And you can work with that blue flame. And we'll go into that more in not sure which chakra we get into that, but we will. And then Archangel Raphael with his green flame. So it's like a green flame on the torch handle. This is love and compassion and charity. And he stands at this corner, and then Archangel Uriel walks along, and he has a handheld flame for us that we hold. And then Archangel Yophael with his magical dust stands in the fourth corner. And this magical Yofi dust you can sprinkle on anything and everyone to lighten us up, especially if we're grumpy about something. So, and it really works. And that it helps us to stand back and detach from everything. And then Archangel Gabriel in the middle with the golden ascension spiral, and Sanat Kumara with his golden scales of balance. So, and then we're fully surrounded and protected. You can do this at any time, anywhere. It is a healing chamber color is the perfect balance. No matter what color you're breathing, it is the perfect balance of vibration and frequency of the mother energy and the father energy, and no tension between the two. And that's where we're headed to on the planet. That deep respect and admiration between the masculine and the feminine within the body and without on the planet. So let's do some breathing. And I've got something special today. It's a little different. We're going to work with expanding the tri-flame. It was something that I was experimenting with last week. And we're just going to go. So we're going to actually go into the flame and expand the colors. And you can use this for any kind of healing. I was really triggered about something that was very funny last week. I don't know where my head is at, but I've been working a lot on the second book and up in the higher dimensions and not super focused in the third, which I have to become more focused. So, anyways, it's a funny story that I'm going to rectify first thing tomorrow morning. But I went grocery shopping last week and I actually walked out of the store without paying for some things and got home and went, oh no, this isn't good. But it made me feel so guilty that it was extraordinary. And then I was guided to work with the Triflame. So this is a great way to bring yourself back to balance about anything. So let's breathe in any color that you feel like you'd like to. And then pause a moment. And on the out breath, drop right down into your heart chakra. And imagine it just that beautiful emerald green. And let's just pause a moment and breathe this beautiful healing green energy. This is love. This is what we're all birthed from. And this is the color. Well, it's all shades of green, the heart chakra, but this is kind of right in the middle. So just breathe this beautiful green energy and just feel it, swirl it throughout your entire body. And this is a way to let go old belief systems, especially old sorrow, any pain that you have in your physical form. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And then I want you to sense your tri-flame. However you do that, just feel that it's right there. It's in the center of your heart chakra. And that spark you take with you, divine spark, the silver spark of truth, is right in the middle of your heart chakra. And then the flames go up from there. So just sense that and really breathe in to the silver. And the silver has tinges of pink and lilac, and just breathe into that truth, your truth, the truth. Breathe it in and expand that energy into your physical form. Feel it a bit sparkly. Expand that silver energy into your mind, down to your toes, out to your fingertips. That silver energy. Just really breathe into it. And when you do this, if you decide to do this on your own, you'll find that insights will come because this is the truth. This is what we're looking for. So just breathe into that. And then I want you to move into the pink. So this is the pink of your wholeness. This is the pink flame that surrounds the silver. And really breathe into that. This is our grace. This is knowing how perfect we are and how cherished we are. This is our grace and our wholeness. So breathe into that pink and expand it as far and wide into your body as you can. Just really feel how cherished you are. And that's the pink energy. It's very powerful. Everyone carries this pink of the self. And then move into the blue energy. Expand that blue. This is the Divine Mother's blue. This is the healing. This is the knowing that everything is forgiven in the higher realms. There is absolutely no judgment. So just breathe into that blue. And as you breathe these colors insights come. So take your time. If you're doing it on your own, really take your time doing this. This is the knowing of karmic dispensation, that all debt that is owed to us and that we owe and have incurred is forgiven and erased. And we'll get into that when we get to the throat chakra, but it's just good to know that it's all forgiven. And then move into the golden energy and expand that energy. This is the action that we can take. So in my case, I heard what action to take for to balance what happened. So the golden energy is balance, it's divine alignment, it's the knowing of what to do, the action to take. And it's also gratitude. It's your self-worth. So expand that golden energy into your entire being. And this is what humility is. It's that ability to be truly grateful. So let's just feel into that golden energy and expand it. And then bring yourself right back into the middle and feel, just sense the flame in its normal size in the middle of your heart chakra. And that's an amazing way to begin the day, even before you get out of bed. And then you're right in balance in your mother energy, your father energy, yourself, the child, and the action of being truly grateful and knowing it all is forgiven when we request it. Okay, so just bring yourself right back. Beautiful. Okay. And then we can also make sure that we're divinely aligned. So just feel the energy going directly to source and straight down to the center of the planet. And feel that divine alignment, that we are all one. We are here to create that oneness inside of ourselves, know it's there, and then extend it out to the planet. Beautiful. Okay. Nice. Okay. So that's really working with your self-love and your self-worth and the healing, the awakening to the truth, and the action. It's a remarkable way to start the day, or if you're really triggered about something, just go into it because the answers are all there. And as I said, I mean, I've learned more just contemplating that flame than anything else. All the answers are there to the questions we have. Okay, so we've studied the ruby red root chakra. That is the balance from our root, our sacred purpose, the law of sacred purpose, the blessing and virtue of compassion, the first dimension, really knowing the equality of self-love and self-worth right from the root. And now we're in the red, we're in the second chakra. This is the communication dimension. It's more like the internet, it's two-dimensional. And the blessing and virtue of humility is what we're in. And then eventually we'll get to the law of intent. Okay, so this electric gratitude that is a huge part of humility is these lower chakras all the way up to here. It's very much the electric energy of gratitude, really working at being in gratitude for the self and for everyone. For the courage it takes for everyone to be here playing whatever role they're playing. I know that the Epstein files are out right now, and it's a lot of old energy that's come to the surface to be let go. So the best thing to do is stand back and bless it all, sprinkle it all with, the beings and the energy of it with the sparkly dust, because we are all here to come into the non-judgment of everything. We have all contributed to what has happened on the planet. And so we're here now to all come into that divine alignment and help everyone there. So the definition of a humility is the ability to be truly grateful for the many blessings bestowed upon each and all, knowledge that alone we are rather incompetent, but united with one, we are all necessary for all works and sharing of service. Its color is red. So you see, it's very much the electric energy of being truly grateful for everyone, no matter what role that is being played. And this was kind of interesting. I know I showed this last week, the rose with a stem, the root chakra, but that's another way to ground yourself to the planet. Just imagine it has this most beautiful stem that goes down. Pretend the lowest chakra is a rose, and then just it has a stem, and then that grounds us to the planet. And Teresa, when she explains, Saint Teresa, when she explains purity, does talk about this rose. So it's just interesting. Okay. So there we go. There's the root chakra, first dimensional, foundational, self-love, self-worth, compassion, non-judgment, sacred purpose, knowing we are one family. So that's the root. And now we're up in the second dimension, communication of the healing, humility, being truly grateful for yourself and everyone. No matter what has happened, if you can get to that gratitude for everyone, for the ones that have triggered us the most and hurt us the most, my gosh, you're there. That is the wisdom. And it's a very joyful state of being because you're not attached to any of the old systems anymore. You can see that it's a very big picture, and we've all come and played different roles and we're at different stages. And our job right now is just to stand back and bless it all. The willingness of our being to extend ourselves to others. So, and then step in and be able to be with different energies and not be triggered. It's a practice. And so the universal law of intent we'll get to. Maybe not the next one, but the one after. Okay, so here's a little bit of a review of what humility is. Knowing that it's red, the color of red, and red is a spectrum. So it goes from the deepest red all the way to pink. And when the Divine Mother talks about grace, which is way up in the crown chakra, she does talk about it being connected to humility because it's the same spectrum of color. So, and grace is loving action, basically, and knowing how cherished we are. So we learned last session with humility, we can create roles and openings as an instrument of love. But in that heart commitment, sometimes our service is not exactly as glamorous or as rich or as fulfilling as we hoped. But what Lao Tzu said is the reward of service is the service itself and our willingness to extend ourselves to others. Yeah, so sometimes we have jobs that we're not exactly thrilled with. But if you can get to the place where you're grateful for it, it changes your frequency and it bounces you into something else, maybe something that you're more aligned with. So that the gratitude piece is really important. And I've watched that there's a young girl that is at the place where I go on Mondays, and that's exactly what she's done. She's now going to be leaving and putting herself in a position where she's making more money, and it was really interesting to watch her journey. So yes, coming to greater and greater gratitude for herself. Lao Tzu said it's important to serve the poorest, the richest, the powerful, and the meek. And Lao Tzu did note that his joy came from serving those in the villages because they would listen to his heart and truly receive what he had to offer, which was love. He says the healing energy of all things is love. And then he had this profound statement where he said, how can one not fall down in awe and joy and reverence in the presence of love? And that's exactly how it feels. It's amazing. Okay. The true understanding of humility, it is a privilege, truly an honor to serve, not a duty or a responsibility. So yes, humility is ability to be truly grateful to serve. And there's the compassion, the non-judgment. So yeah. And then we'll call in Lao Tzu. He's here right now. Well, let's invoke. When you invoke the being, they show up. They have to show up. It's universal law. And then The key is to be as still as possible so you can understand what they are imparting to us. Humility unifies us. It brings us into the balance of equality, knowing no one is better than another. Lao Tzu says compassion is an essential part of what humility is, the piece where we know there's no hierarchy. I had some readings on the weekend where there was people from India, well, actually quite a few people from India, and they were busting systems right, left, and center, marrying into different families. Like the caste system is still a little bit prevalent, so marrying into upper and lower caste systems and busting up the arranged marriage situation. It was really fascinating to see. So, so much work is being done. So it is not only serving, but allowing ourselves to be served as well. Lao Tzu says it hurts our hearts when we are not permitted to give back after we have received a gift, that the balance is broken, that it is humiliating. The feeling, the thought, the emotion, humiliation is one of those. The things we are eliminating on our Nova Earth because it is humiliating when we're not permitted to give. So, and the gifts do not have to be of equal value. So just know that as we're giving, to allow others to give to us as well. He says, unless the heart speaking is part of the conversation, the imbalance can grow. So when you're in your heart space and that heart consciousness, you can see and feel and know this information. Like it just comes really naturally. So out of the mind, into the heart. And that's why working with the tri-flame is really, it works. Okay, so now we're on to page 108. And Lao Tzu says, now there are many times when somebody will say, oh, you do not need to repay me. I just wanted to help you. It is out of the kindness of their hearts, but they have need to be reminded gently, of course, sometimes not so gently, that you have kindness in your heart as well. There is also this preoccupation in much of your society that these reciprocal actions need to be of equal value, and that is not so. So he says, for example, I would go to the fields. First, I would help them to tend the rice paddies because there was always need, particularly during harvest, for more hands. I would give a healing or a talk to a family in distress, and then they would give me some rice and a cup of tea, and I would be so grateful. So there you go. He was doing his healing work and his speaking his words of wisdom, and they fed him. And he just thought he was so grateful. Yeah, so beautiful. Now, were these things of equal value? You cannot measure that because the rice and the tea were made with gratitude. The healing was given in love. So, how do you try to equate or measure these things? That is a very Western obsession, which has spread throughout the world, I would say, unfortunately. So, when you come in a place of humility, it is a unifying force. It is a force that says, I am your brother and sister, and that we are in this journey together. So, I will serve you because otherwise I am not fulfilling my soul purpose and mission. And then you will serve me so you can fulfill your heart's desires. And then we will both go and serve another. And so, and another. And so it grows. This is how you very clearly create the new way, the way of change, and the way of Christ consciousness and of love. And I'll never forget the YouTube I saw there's one of our leaders that likes to go into the recovery centers. He goes everywhere, and he talks to the people and he makes YouTubes. And he was in a recovery center and he told the people in recovery that he really wanted them to recover so they would go out and lift up the next person. And then that person would lift up the next person. So it's all like all of us working together to help each other and lift ourselves up into the heart consciousness. We really want to get up into the seventh dimension of this Christ consciousness and of love. This is the balance. And Archangel Michael has said many times to me, it's the most comfortable place to be. Yes, Lillian or Ken.
Yeah, I
You're
was
on.
wondering
Yes.
what the name of this guy was so we could send him some love.
Which guy? Oh, Pierre? Which
Yeah,
one? Oh, yeah. Of the leader in the country, in our country?
well, the one who goes to the um, healing
Yes.
center that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. So he's the leader of our conservative party. His name is Pierre Poilievre.
Poilievre.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, he's a really neat guy. You can look him up. He has his own YouTube channel. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done some really, really cool interviews. He's been on uh, boats with the fishermen. He's gone into the prison system and talked to the guards. He's gone to the recovery centers. He's gone to coffee shops. Yeah, it's I love it. Okay. And then Lao Tzu says, Jesus Sananda, the master, was very humble. He knew exactly what it meant to walk barefoot and dusty and to share whatever food he had. It has been the same for thousands and tens of thousands of years. Long ago, when I was in Atlantis, we were honored to have the Star Brothers and Sisters come, and it is then that they brought the La Ho Chi, the healing modality of light and movement and sound and symbols. So these were the Pleiadians that came and brought this healing technique where you use your hands and it's hands-on healing. And I use it when people are with me in the reading room and on the crystal mat. And then Lao Tzu said, so what could we offer them? Because they came and they gave this beautiful technique. And he said, well, what we offered humbly and gratefully was our willingness to learn. And it is still the same. And we welcome them with open arms. The beings from the Pleiades are here and they're helping so much. At that time, we felt ourselves terribly sophisticated and advanced, but we were in the beginning stages of what you think of as science and culture. Now, I do not mean to diminish my beloved home or one of the homes in which I have lived because it was dear to me, but each person thinks that what they have is very unique and special. And so when it is offered and accepted with gratitude, it makes both parties, whether it is two people or 20,000 people, it makes everyone feel unified. It brings the vibration of love, and inside that love, with joy and gratitude, is acceptance. And acceptance is part of humility as well. So again, it's both. It's both. It's the mother and the father energy. It's the acceptance and the gratitude. It's all these blessings and virtues carry both energies, the vibration and the frequency. And in this case, it's the acceptance and the gratitude. Part of what you yearn for, each of you, and I know this because I, as human, have also yearned for it. It is this deep yearning to be accepted for who you are, to be seen and to be known, and in that knowing, to be cherished, to be valued. The starting point is to accept, and it is not to say that I accept the reality, because what is reality anyway? It is to accept the possibility. This is where I've always started with my students. Can you accept the possibility of love and your value? So that this is our self-worth. And everyone on planet, we're all lacking in self-love and self-worth. That is what is underneath all the old systems, not of love. The false grids, the unloving ways of being on the planet that are a human creation. It is our lack of self-love and our lack of self-worth. Not that it is a given or a proven, but is just the possibility. When that crack of the door is open, you are home. It is like planting a seed, and you can harvest a whole crop of rice from that one seed. So just accepting the possibility of our love and our value. And it's funny, the mother did talk to me of this value once. We were at a big conference, and that was the word that came to me, value. And that's been one of the main things I've really struggled with is self-worth. And so a lot of especially the feminine on the planet. It's been the gender inequality here. So it's been we've been the feminine has been very suppressed here. So it's just time for that energy of the mother energy inside of all of us to rise into equality, the love and the worth. Yes, Ken.
Um, I was wondering, um, um, do you tell people to use the Yofi dust as a way to help them feel loved and accepted?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great way. Dump a whole bucket of it on top of ourselves. Yes, it's a wonderful way. That Yofi dust works magic. Good one. Thank you, Ken. When I have walked in form as Lao Tzu, I did not think of myself as a master. Now, to call someone a master in that time of China was also a sign of respect. It was not that they were saying, oh, you are an ascended master. It was simply a sign of respect. And the fact that I was very old, and he laughs when he says that, I did not think of myself as having achieved more than anybody else. I had these flashes of enlightenment that I only assumed that these insights, but I only assumed that these insights were given to me so that I could share them. He says that is humility. It is not the feeling that you are so special that something is given only to you. That is not of truth. The insights and the understanding, the energy that is given to each of you right now on earth is given to you to share. To hoard it, to keep it hidden, to think that somehow you are unique and special and have a special favor with the master, that is arrogance and ego. Now, sometimes it is also fear, and there were times when I would have students both as Dwakul and in Atlantis when we would talk and they would say, oh, I do not dare to tell my parents about this. They will think I am crazy. Yeah. And I would say, you do not need to share all the whys and wherefores, the insights. What you need to share is the love. Each of you, all of you, I see you and I see you're wonderful. Not only your capacity to love, but that you do love, that you do walk in service. Now, sometimes there is frustration, and you would say to me, but Master, my service has not yet appeared before me. It is either a timing issue or I'm not in the right circumstances. What am I to do? Well, what I suggest to you is do not waste your time waiting. Find another way to express your love. You are not limited. But there's always ways to walk in service. The sense of rediscovery, and that is a pleasant gift. It is like remembering a dear, dear friend who you forgot you had, or meeting somebody you knew when you were 5 years old and playing in the sandbox and running into them when you were 30 or 40 or 50 and discovering the sweetness of that love that you shared is still there. So sharing that love, it just comes so naturally when you're really, really conscious, like just being more and more heart-centered. It just comes naturally. Now, sometimes it is not just a matter of discovering a friend, it is a matter of discovering and rediscovering you. Now, I'm not suggesting that you spend your time trying to mine these memories, but the more that you are in action of love and in the service to each other, the more the remembering simply emerges because it will feel very familiar. You have had that sense of light, and it is because the information was already there. It was in your system, as it were, in your computer. So the tri-flame, working with the tri-flame, everything's in there. If ever you're confused or things don't feel right, if you can pause and sit still and just go into the tri-flame, it the feeling of balance comes back and gratitude comes back much more quickly, like when you really focus on that heart space. And then he says, are they not magnificent inventions? Yes, computers are. Okay, so was any questions about any of this information? I do have a little bit of um a review of it because I know there's a lot that comes through in these channelings. Yes, Laura.
Okay, so just slipping back, I think one slide back maybe. He talks about the phrase is it is to accept the possibility, right? Can
Hmm.
you accept the possibility of love and of your value? And
Hmm.
he contrasts that in his teaching with it's not to say I accept the reality because what is reality anyway? It is to accept the possibility. Do you have a little bit more you can say about how he's using the words reality versus possibility?
Because we're in it's like a matrix here. So the reality here, things are not as they seem. We can't see as much as what's real truly going on. So I think he's just saying if you can really come into your heart consciousness and know your value, because it's all inside of us. It's not in the outer. It's not in what we can see in the outer. It's within.
So the word possibility is being used to signify that. Is that it's a just a use of a word that is just I feel like there's something there that either I'm not quite getting or it's just a little bit deeper. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Yeah. Because there's a lot of words that could go there other than can you accept the possibility? It's just an interesting choice of words.
Hmm. Well, I think, and then he goes on. He said, not that it is a given or a proven, but just the possibility. Like, can you imagine that? And see where he says, when that crack of the door is open, you are home. So it's a really, really, imagination is the beginning of creation. So imagining who, like, and remembering the possibility of who we truly are. So yeah, it's really coming into the heart conscious language is a little bit um it's not very mental. It's it's hard to explain. It's
Okay, I think what I'm getting now that I've even said this out loud is that it's already the love and acceptance and knowing of self-worth is already there out there in the future and we're shaking hands with it now by accepting the possibility, so you're sort of bringing it into fruition, I would say, is kind of where I'm feeling about that then. Okay.
yeah, and it's not I wouldn't even think about it as future.
Mm,
It is now. Now
right,
the future is now.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So heart consciousness, the more we drop out of the mind and into the heart, this languaging that he uses makes more sense. And it's because English is a bit limited.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, for sure, for sure. But I mean, many words could have been put there. Just I just want to make sure that I have a sense of why that particular word.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And Ken, did you have something you wanted to say?
You guys kind of said it. I mean, it was already said, so I decided that I didn't need to say it myself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I find English is a bit limited and so when you're working in the heart space, it becomes more, it's telepathy that we're moving into. And telepathy is images and concepts and it's very difficult to not understand with telepathy. Um, so yeah, so really just dropping in and practicing being in the heart opens up so much that we've never really, for sure, I never contemplated. So yeah, but it just takes practice. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I see possibility as breaking down the barrier, giving yourself the space or the possibility of, that being true. And so when you break down the barrier, that way you have the possibility. It doesn't have to be absolute or a reality in any sense at all.
So what's the barrier though? Like why?
Well, it's all the illusions we have in our mind. It would be breaking down those illusions. We
Okay.
have the illusion that we can't even see the possibility a lot of times.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't shake the feeling that when you use the word like possibility, you really are asking about imagining a future event, right? So the future is part of that, which is interesting. So it's that sort of push pull handshake between the now and the future that makes us move forward, that makes all of this kind of happen. So there's just possibility invokes the future for sure for me. Because it's not happening now, but it is possible, right? So that's that's really interesting. That's one thing I'm going to dig a little bit deeper on that. So yeah, it's cool.
But acceptance is like right now, isn't it?
That's not what that says. That's the thing, right? Is can you accept the possibility? So it's not speaking of, it's asking you to accept that it is possible. And possibility isn't necessarily now. It could be a second in the future. It could be 100 years in the future, whatever, right? But possible is not now. It means it is possible to do, at least the way I understand the word possibility, right?
Okay.
It's not something like if it's possible for me to have a ham sandwich after class, I'm not having a ham sandwich right now, but it is possible that I could have a ham sandwich, right? So it's just, he is speaking to us in our language. So I'm going to trust that when he's using possibility, there's a pointing to the future there. Whether, like I said, it's a second from now, a millisecond from now, or 20 minutes from now, whatever that is. So that's a really, really fascinating way to put it down. You have to remember I'm a writer, right? So I'm going to be zooming in on the words a little bit, but it is a
Yeah.
very interesting turn of phrase, which to me invokes the future.
Okay. And then, but the next two sentences are really important too, because he talks the crack of the door, which is the heart. He's
Right.
opened the door to the heart. And that's like right now, when that crack of the door is open, you are home.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So Ken.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, Lillian. Yay.
When you were talking about this, my mind went, it's a glimmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little glimmer there. And it's gonna, if you allow it, it'll open. But all you have to do is just let it open.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll open when you're ready to let it in.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you. Excellent. I love that. Thank you.
Can I also say something?
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to say that remember that time is an illusion. So
Mm-hmm.
that what we're really dealing with is a series of nows anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yeah, beautiful. The wisdom. I love it. Thank you. And Darren.
Yeah, I like what Lillian said, but also I'd like to add that I see possibility as a choice, an option. You have, say, I don't know, a dozen different options. So you have the possibility of love, you also have the possibility of all kinds of other emotions or feelings or thoughts in there. And so love is just one possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's who we are. That's that's the heart. The heart is love, and everyone's birth of love. We're all birth of source, and that's what source is. Yes, Barbara.
Doesn't it have also something to do with being open to that possibility?
Mm-hmm.
So people have blocks in their lives that they're not worthy of love. They don't feel self-love, self-value, valuing themselves. So the possibility, and even this thing about the door being open, is just thinking about saying, no, I am worthy of love. I am worthy. I do have value. I do bring value to myself and to others, right? I can feel valued. So to me, the possibility is just I'm removing some of those blocks that say I'm not worthy of this. And that's why it's a possibility, because you're opening the crack in the door to allow it to happen.
That's beautiful. Yes. And just know, like, this is who we are. The blocks are not real. They're a human creation. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. That was good. Good discussion. Okay. So let's go here. Yeah. So this is just a little bit of a review of what we looked at today, just knowing the reward of service is the service itself. So it doesn't really matter what we're doing, as long as we're like coming from our hearts and extending out and helping people open to the possibility of accepting love and worth. So yeah, I mean, we're really the willingness of our to extend ourselves to others and to all. And once you're in that zone, it's in your field, and sometimes you don't even have to say anything. The people can just sense it. It's because a lot of the communication is done through the field, not necessarily through words and communication like through words. Knowing it is a privilege, truly an honor to serve, not a duty or responsibility. And then also allowing ourselves to be served. Reciprocal actions do not need to be of equal value. They are a unifying force. Our willingness to learn, our acceptance with gratitude, and accepting our love and worth, and sharing the insights that come. So yes, that was a good one. Wow, we learned so much. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I think it's so important really to be willing to accept service from someone else, because that completes the energy loop. Otherwise the loop is incomplete and the energy doesn't flow properly. You have to be able to receive it in order to keep the loop going, that
Yeah.
infinity loop,
Yeah, that's it. That's why I have this infinity here. I have a standing on it and remembering how angelic we are, but it should actually be going through the heart. I need to change this image. It should be going through the heart. Yeah. But even if you can feel it like walking the planet, because the planet is doing that for us. Like we're breathing the air of the planet and drinking the water of the planet. So, and the way that we repay Gaia is through this gratitude, like just being grateful. And so, and working with gratitude brings us into our self-worth. So it's a humility, being truly grateful. It's a walk of gratitude that we're doing here, which is what all of nature does with Gaia. Like they send this gratitude back and forth. That's how they balance the energy. So we're learning that. And humility is really, Lao Tzu does explain this. They're never totally straightforward with the way that they explain these blessings and virtues, but it's for us to go deeper into the self. They're always encouraging us to contemplate, just like how the wording really got Laura going. That's what they want us to question. They want us to go deeper and feel into it for ourselves. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I think humanity really needs to be a lot more grateful to Gaia for all the energy and love she puts out, but we don't have the gratitude for in general anyway.
yeah, so we're working with being grateful to Gaia and also grateful between ourselves too. So it's gratitude everywhere. Yes, Barbara. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, yes, thanks. I think if you think about humility also, it's moving beyond ego. So when it says the reward of service is the service itself, you're moving beyond your own ego of what you get for it, the notification you get, the reward you get. the public gratitude that you get. You're doing service without an expectation
Yes.
of having your personal ego fulfilled. It's the service that's important. And I think, if humility, um, feeling that not needing anything back, accepting something back is different from needing to be seen doing it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's beautiful. If you look up humility in the dictionary, it's all about being humble, but it's so expanded with these definitions from the Council of Love. Yes, Darren.
Well, I think the only true service comes from the heart anyway. So you really can't serve from the ego. It has to come from the heart to have any weight behind it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember when I first started standing, when I was offering readings, and I was standing in the corner of the store and offering readings, and it was the most excruciating thing to have to promote myself. And after a while, the excruciation just melted away, and it became a service and extending myself, just saying hi to people, and then the conversation going from there. It was really an interesting thing to burn away um, the discomfort like in public like that. So you can um, I think that's why Lao Tzu says just step into what we can create the openings ourselves, which is kind of what I did. I just said to the owner of the store, I want to stand in the corner. So that was creating an opening. And then it's from there, it's just led to so much just dissolving, all the old systems dissolving. So yeah, just step into our fears. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that golden energy. Yes, Laura.
Just one little thing something kind of just gelled for me as you guys were talking there. And I'm realizing that some of the symbols that I've channeled, some of the emotional energies are seen in the bigger picture as when we cultivate and produce these energies, particularly the quite positive ones. The word that always kept being used was we're like a battery powering back out into nature, into the universe, into the cosmos, that the energies we create, it's like we're also like, there's some of the energies are like at any one time part of the people on the planet are giving it off, and the universe needs us to be doing that as part of our work, whether we're conscious of it or not. So, and that helped me sort of connect with what Ken said about, or no, what Darren said about giving back to Gaia. I think that's what Tweak does. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, so this or this right here, this is us like a battery pack and the energy just going out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we're always giving off energy. Always. And it's well, it is like an infinity too. It's going out and coming back. So what we give out, like there's the law of attraction and repulsion. It's that understanding that the more you're blessing everything, the more blessings come back. So, and the repulsion energy is when you know everything's forgiven, it just dissolves, all the old stuff dissolves. But yeah, so it's there's a lot more at play than we realize here. And it's just so fun delving into it. So yeah, the golden energy, this golden energy of that's part of gratitude, being truly grateful. It does create balance, but it is also an action. So there's always the stillness and the action, the mother and the father energy. So it's really, really the balancing is coming into the middle and being able to stand in the middle, the balance. They said we're it's not so much positive and negative, good and bad anymore. That is the old system. We're now coming into the middle and being able to operate from the middle. That old system, the dichotomy of the old system is dissolving, and we're learning about balance, the stillness and the action, the stillness and the action. So the electric currency is the willingness to extend ourselves to others, but also to know it's coming from the stillness within. And so if we change our fields, we change the world. So with acceptance of our self-worth. Yeah. Yes, Darren.
Would you say the main energies to balance are the masculine and feminine?
Yes, that's what's happening on the planet. Yes, because it's in the tri-flame. That's the blessing and virtue of hope connected to the throat, understanding that the balance is found in the stillness, but there's the distinct energies between the masculine and the feminine, but they're equal, which is source energy, which has been missing on the planet. And if we have any kind of physical pain in the body, it goes back to tension between the masculine and the feminine, usually what we've witnessed from childhood between our parents or any kind of traumas that have been inflicted upon us with the imbalance of those energies. But yes, yeah, I would say that when we come into mutual admiration and respect within for the different energies inside the masculine and the feminine, when that comes into balance, and then we will naturally create it for our without, as within, so without. No tension within, no tension without. We've had so many wars because there's tension. Now, when we release the tension, there'll be no more wars on the planet. As within, so without. Yeah. Okay. So yes. So we're learning to open this chakra and think and feel the willingness that it is our honor to serve and be in that electric energy of gratitude, extending ourselves to all, to one. When we extend ourselves to one person, we're really extending ourselves to all, because everyone is one, is of the oneness. Okay. So this is good. We're learning all about balance from the root chakra, and this real electric, grateful energy to be in. The joy. Okay. So let's, we've gone over a little bit. Is everyone okay with staying for 10 minutes to send energy? If you're not, it's fine. But whoever wants to stay and send out beautiful, sparkly energy out to the planet, we'll do that right now for 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, bye, Barbara. Okay, so I'm going to put myself on mute and set my timer. See you, everybody, in 10 minutes. Okay. That's 10 minutes. Okay. Oh, that was a good class. Beautiful. I know I'm going to get a good sleep tonight. Okay.
So I just wanted to remind everybody about the fire moon fire horse tomorrow
Yes.
and the solar eclipse, and to say that I'm going to miss the 2 next Mondays. Next Monday I've got a pre-AGM meeting, and then I've got the AGM meeting, and unfortunately they're both Monday nights, so
Okay.
miss you. I'll see you back in March.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Jane. And you can always look at the YouTubes if you want.
Correct, yes, or look at Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan can relay everything.
I'll be there.
He'll be there. He can be my eyes and ears.
Okay, awesome. Okay, good. Thank you for letting us know.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Last night to shed your skin.
Yeah,
Shed what
shed
no
it-
longer
shed
serves
that.
you.
Yeah, that's right. Shed that snake skin.
Shed that snake skin.
We'll be
100%.
galloping forward after that.
Uh-huh. Most definitely.
Okay, good. Thank you for the reminder, Jane.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so we'll see everybody next week then, except for Jane. Yes.
Sweet dreams. Night,
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks,
See ya.
Kathleen. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good
Bye.
night, everybody. Good night.
Night.
You're welcome. Bye, Christine.